Yo, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? I want to welcome you to another episode of We Create Music TV. I am your host, of course, Vaughan. And man, today we have a special guest with us, award-winning RIAA Gold-certified music producer, DDS. Man, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, so welcome to the show, man. I'm greatly appreciative of you coming on and just kind of talking about yourself and, sharing them gems.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. I'm ready.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's just start off talking about your musical journey, bro.
I started making beats in, I want to say 10th or 11th grade. I'm not even sure anymore. So I was like maybe 14, somewhere around there. And it really started where even in middle school, I liked instrumentals. I found myself doing the thing where I had like a CD player. And if you plugged in your headphones just to the right point, it kind of made everything sound different where you could hear the beat. So
Yeah.
that was really what I started doing. And then I got into like virtual DJ way back then. And that kind of led me to a point where I found FL Studio, started making beats on it. Took a long time for me to really learn how to make beats with it. I'd make loops with the step sequencer, but wouldn't really know how to build it out from there. I had a friend who taught me how to do that in high school. And from there, I just started doing it regularly. Like I made beats. I lived in the country, so it wasn't really much for me to do because I was away from everybody at that point. So I was just sitting in the house making beats all day long whenever I didn't have school. So that eventually transferred into me just taking it serious, and over time it just built up to where I am now.
Yeah, man, that's dope. Man, so most people I interview usually get started very young. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of had that same privilege, starting when you were young. So you got started on FL? Well, it was
Yep.
Fruity Loops back in the day. Now it's FL
Yes, it
Studio.
was.
But yeah, man. So how has that journey been for you? What were some of your biggest challenges that you had to face kind of starting in music and that kind of led to where you are today?
My biggest challenges with music. That's a good question. I would say it's just trying, for me, even now, it's trying to find something that's different, but still me. Like, I don't want to go and keep doing the same thing over and over. Like, I had a time period where I was just making beats. Like, I was one of those people. It was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm like, I'm not going to do nothing but sit in the house, make beats all day long. That's all I'm doing. But then I realized that I was really just making the same thing over and over, essentially. Like, it wasn't any creativity. It was like I was a robot. Like I'm sitting there, okay, next one, next one. Like I would knock out 3 or 4 beats every day. And then I look back and I'm like, yeah, that was bad. I shouldn't have did that. But really now I try to just flow off like I did when I was initially getting started. It was like I'm just trying to have fun with it. If I don't feel like doing it, I'm not gonna do it. If the vibe isn't there, I'm not gonna force it. It's like I just sit down, start pushing buttons on the machine and go from there. I think one of the things that I look at comparing now to then when I was just getting started, you didn't really know any of the rules. It was like, it wasn't those, I didn't think about scales,
Right.
didn't think about key, didn't think about nothing, just making music. If I like how it sounds, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, for real, right? You just kind of, it's interesting. Let me go back. It's interesting that you said that, you would sit in the house and just make beats, and you shouldn't have done that. Why? So why do you say that?
I say I shouldn't have done it because I was just trying to chase the numbers. Like it was like I wanted to have 1,000 beats done by the end of the year, and I need to make that happen. There's no way I can't make that happen. I was listening to other people. Like at that point in time, I had the Try Me with DeJ Loaf, and it was probably about 2 years after that. And I was like, man, I need to keep things going. And everybody's still asking for beats. And at that point, I would think I can't send these people the same beats because what if they use it? Then this person got the same one. So I need to make sure I find a way to keep my catalog growing and growing and growing. And it became where nothing happened over that time. And I would go back and listen to those beats and I'd be like, yeah, I could kind of see it because these are all the same. At the end of the day, it was the same format. I might switch it up a little bit, but it will go back to that same format, same drum kit, same everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, do you find that as producers today that's something that's a formula that they use, trying to chase numbers and creating the same type of music over and over again without any form of originality to it?
I find that a lot. Like a lot of people that send me their stuff, like I got to the point where I tell people I don't want to listen to your beats, and that's not me being rude, but it's like a lot of the times, I'm not even gonna say 9 times out of 10, I'll say 8 times out of 10, people make pretty much the same sounding stuff. So I'm hearing the same thing over and over and over and over, and it's just done by the same person. And then when I hear something though, and it's different, I go out my way to compliment people. Like I do a session with somebody and they actually play the keys in church and everything. So their music has the elements of modern music, but it's not the same. They don't even have the same thought process of doing what everybody else does because they do gospel music. So they have their own little twist to it. And I think that that's important, but I think a lot of people just trying to chase the, you know, the top 10 artists right now. What do they sound like? Let me make a beat like that. And that's the end of it.
I mean, but do you think that's kind of what is proliferated within the hip hop community today? Is that, I mean, so when you look at the top 10, right? I mean, you look at those artists up there, they got stuff that kind of sound, especially in hip hop, they got stuff that kind of sound the same. And so
Exactly.
I guess, you know, we got producers today who are like, well, if that's what is on top 10, then that's the kind of stuff that I need to make because that's what people are wanting, that type of sound.
I agree. And then it's like what I try to tell people, I guess it all depends on what your goal is at the end of the day. If you're trying to chase a placement, that could work for you. But I'll tell you from my personal experience, none of the beats that I ever made trying to chase somebody, like thinking that this is for this person specifically. Like if I sat down and just made it, it got picked. It's usually something that I'm like, oh, you like this one? Like I will throw a random thing in there now, or specifically only send 1 or 2 beats that I think the person may like, and then send some other ones that I can somewhat hear them over, and then let that go. Because like Try Me with DeJ Loaf, like the stuff that we were working on prior to that was none of those type of sounds at the same time. It was just something different. And I wasn't even chasing anything with that. I was just having a bad day and I wanted to make something bright. And that's what I did with that.
Yeah.
The only time that it ever works for me when I have somebody in mind and I make a beat for them is if it's a sample beat. That will work for me. But outside of that, original stuff, it's usually something out of left field.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of like your story with the DeJ Loaf type beat, right? So talk a little bit about that whole process and how that came to fruition for you.
The way I came about even hearing about DeJ Loaf in first place was she was a part of a group. They put out a mixtape. I liked the artists that were in the group, and then I had never heard of her at that point. So that they put it out January 1st of 2014, I believe it was. So I'm like, oh, I like her. I need to hear some more of her music. And I'm like, I want to work with her. It's just something about her voice, her delivery, all that stuff. So I looked her up on Twitter, saw who her manager was, said he looking for beats for his artists. And I said, okay, I'm gonna send him some beats. She was the only person to respond. It was snippets. She tweeted that she hates when producers send snippets. So I had responded to that and said, dang, like, okay, you could have just said send you the whole thing. So that sparked me just literally sending full beats because I wasn't really chasing the money. I really just wanted somebody to rap on my beats. It was like, I just want to hear it, like, let's do it. So in between that point and Try Me, I probably sent her over, I'll say anywhere from about 70 to beats just over time. Like I made it, it was like, okay, this is somebody I'm sending them to. And she picked Try Me along with some other stuff over time, but she performed Try Me like, I want to say in May of 2014. And it was just a few people there. It wasn't that many people. It was maybe like an audience, maybe 10, 20, 30 top people have it on video, by the way. But you know, with the support, I was happy. Like the song I'm using, a song that I made is being performed, so I'm excited. So go down there, and long story short, she ended up putting it out on SoundCloud, like I think it was 4th of July weekend. And from there, it just started taking off at that point. And even by then, though, I was still consistently sending her beats. It wasn't like, okay, oh, she recorded this, let me just slow down. But it's like, no, I just kept it going. Like, you're using it, here, take it.
So would you advise other producers to kind of follow that same route when looking to work with artists?
I always tell people to do that. Like, if you want to work with somebody, don't be that person that's like, oh, you know, you didn't give me $50, so I'm not gonna give you the beat. It's like, if you want to hear the person on your beat, you're gonna get something out of it. Just I get something out of it just if I like the way you sound, and I want to work with you. Just the fact that you recorded on something that I made makes me happy. That's better than the, oh, you just paid a $50 lease, or people do it with $20, $25 leases. It's like, don't get caught up on that. Just send it, and then once it's out there, promote it like it's yours. Let them promote it, and you really never know what's going to happen. I tell people that all the time. The way I do it is I find artists I want to work with, or if somebody reaches out to me about some artists, or if they say I have, you know, X amount of artists and I need some beats for them, I will sit there and, like, last year, I really only sent how many folders did I have? I think I only had like 4 folders of different artists that I was sending beats to consistently. And I have songs with a nice amount of songs with 3 of them. And that's really how I work. It's like I'm focusing on these, and somebody else, I have a little bit of beats over here, toss over here, whatever, but I'm focused on these, and I'm gonna make stuff happen with these.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get caught up, kind of like you were saying, with chasing the numbers. And it's like, well, if you don't give me something for this beat, then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of people are transactional in their thinking. You know what I'm saying? And they just say, okay, here's a beat, here's money, okay, here's the next. But they don't think about the long-term perspective. Or even, I was talking to a friend about that earlier. It's like, cool, you can get money up front, but there's other things that you can get out of that. If you're just looking just for that one transactional thing to take place, I guess that's cool, but I want more. I want more stuff. I want a relationship with that person. And so based off of that song, Try Me, it's led to some other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, go ahead, say that.
I was just going to say, like, imagine if I was that person that was like, oh, you like this snippet, but if you want the whole beat, I need you to go ahead and PayPal me $25, $50, and I'll send you the whole thing. It's like, I didn't care, just take it. And that literally changed my life. Like, at that year, I was on unemployment, and then I hadn't had a job since then. Like, I got laid off. And then it's like, okay, what am I going to do now? And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take these 3 months of unemployment and try and make something happen with music. My job called me back, and I was like, nah, I'm going to wait. Like, I heard Try Me on the radio, so I'm like, no, something going to happen with this. And then right after that, it just took off. Like, Wiz Khalifa did a remix. It just kept going. So here we are, going on 7 years later, and I'm like, I'm still get paid for it. And then it's like, it helped me build myself up, build my brand up to where it's like, I just do music and business, and it's like, I live off of that. So
man, do you know how many views that song got on her on her
it's
YouTube?
crazy. I forget how much it was, but I know it's a lot.
101 million plus views.
Yep. And then I have 3 million on my page from it. And I think, and then it was on other channels at one point in time too. So it's crazy.
So not even just that, if you go and look at all the different remixes that people did, yo, they got 36 million views, 58 million views, 97 million views, 658,000. I was like, yo, that's crazy. But what's so dope about it, and what I love about it, is that at the beginning, when you hear the song, even though it's a remix, it goes DDS. And I'm like, yes, that is so dope. That is so dope. So congratulations for that, brother. Definitely.
Thank you. Because I love those remixes.
Yes. You know, because it led to some other stuff with DeJ Loaf.
Yep.
So talk 100%. About that. So talk about what's going on now, or what has transpired with DeJ Loaf when you first made the Try Me to where she is today now, and what you've been doing with her.
Over the years, it's just been a matter of working, and, you know, on my end, I just hold up my end of the bargain. Like, I'm gonna keep on making the beats and sending them. You know, there are times where I might go to where she is and be in the studio and working, but honestly, I can honestly say, like, a beat that I made in person with her, nothing ever came from it. It's always been stuff that I made here and sent to her, you know, especially now. Like, I haven't been anywhere since last time I traveled was like February of last year. I think it might have been January. So now it's just a matter, I'm just sitting here working. And then, like, she just dropped the album back in, I think it was October, and it was literally just some ideas. She'll hit me up and say, I have an idea. I want to like the intro song for the album. She wanted to make a updated version of the Bird Call track. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and do that. Boom, boom, boom. Send it to her. She liked it. She knocked it out there. And it's like, I talked to her yesterday about some stuff that she wants to work on. So that's really all it is. Just having communication and just staying up and keep. What I would suggest to people that get something with an artist is just consistently send them stuff. I'm not saying you have to be like, oh, call them all day, every day. Like, no, it's like, we don't talk every day. We might send a text every now and then, you know, talk on Instagram, all that stuff. But I stay, even if we don't talk for a period of time, I'm still sending something like once every 2 weeks. Boom, here's 7, 8, 9. Take those. Okay. Boom, here's the next one. How are you today? Okay, package in your email, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, and I think you could do that because you have a great relationship with it too. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of artists, or not a lot of artists, but a lot of producers today, they are jumping in your DM. They are sending you 9, 20 beats a minute. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy.
Happens to me all the time.
Hey,
like,
bro,
they be trying to sell me beats.
Right, they be trying to sell you beats. And it's like, do you not realize that I produce too? And you're trying to sell me other beats? And I guess they do that because it's like, well, you know people. And so if you hear this beat, you may say, yo, I like this beat. I got an artist that I think is good for this beat. I'm a connect for you. So, but I don't like that.
Even with that to me, that goes to relationship. Like whenever I have some opportunities, I may have people in my circle that I'm like, hey, you know, do you have something for this? Or send me some ideas of what you think of this, and then I will build onto it and we can put it together. Then I'll send it so that way, if something comes from it, you get some of it, I get some of it. But if you just hit me up out the blue, like, hey, here, take these. Like I thought you looking for beats. Like, no, not really.
Right, brother. Man, so based off of that work that you did with Try Me, it led to some awards, and it led to you being a RIAA Gold-certified producer. So I read something about what happened at the awards. So I don't know if you want to talk about
the BET Hip Hop Awards.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the BET Awards.
Oh, was it the BET Awards? It was something that happened at the awards. It stated that there was an embarrassing moment that took place with.
Okay, I'll give you what I can say about that. I wasn't there, so you just know what I know what you know. I wasn't there. I know what you're talking about, but like I said, I wasn't there because best believe when that happened, I'm getting DMs like, hey, what's going on? Do you know about this?
Yo,
I'm like,
I bet.
I'm at home. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about.
I bet. I mean, only if you want to share some light about it. You don't have to. You know what I'm saying? I'll just do my research, and I kind of found out some interesting stuff about things that took place. But if you want to elaborate, cool. If you don't, you definitely don't have to.
I wasn't there, so I ain't gonna touch it.
If you want to know, go Google some stuff, and you can go find out on
you'll
your own.
You'll be able to find it, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I did. That's why I was like, oh, okay. Man, so you were at a stage in your life where you were unemployed, and that kind of led to you saying, you know what, I'm gonna focus on this whole music thing. That's what I'm gonna do. That's my job now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for you, what have been some of the challenges in doing that, and how do you balance that with the family?
So you're saying, how do I balance music with family?
Yeah.
Because it glitched out for 1 second. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
What I try to tell people, because this is a question I get a lot, is you have 24 hours in the day. I say I'm somebody, I'm blessed to where I don't have to work a 9 to 5, but you have the people that say, well, it's easier for you because you don't have a 9 to 5. But I'm like, literally, my son is virtual school, so he's here all day long. So it's like, it's just a balance. Like, you have to make time in your own way. Like, you know your schedule better than anybody, and you have to find those pockets of time, whether it's, you know, cut off from 1 hour of sleep if you could do that instead of playing the game, you know, instead of just whatever it is. You have to just be serious about, like, no matter what. Like, for me, I'm somebody who got big on, I want to exercise and stuff like that, so I had to make time for that in my schedule. And I mean, you know, like, I have my fiance, my son, I had to make time to be family, and then also had to make time for business. So trying to find the in between, like, you know, my son might want to watch a movie or something. So I'm like, all right, he'll sit there and watch the movie. I'm gonna take my iPad and I'm gonna plan something while I'm sitting here next to him. I'm gonna be paying attention to the movie and planning something. Okay, cool. Or we play the game together. All right. I'll give you an hour. We'll play the game for an hour. Okay. Now when you go to bed, it's time for you to go to bed. Now I'm about to go over here and work. I work for 2 hours. Now I'm about to spend time with my fiance, or just flipping it around, even down to sometimes I do work days and then I have off days. Like I might take the weekend off. I used to be hard on myself and not do that. I'll be like, no, I can't do that. I used to do the thing of not trying to sleep, and then my body like almost shut down one day where I just fell out. It was like, it's crazy. Like, it's really just finding those gaps of time. I feel like everybody has those gaps of time in their day. It's just you have to make it work for you, whether that's you may have to take 30 minutes here, then wait another 2 hours, get another 30 minutes, and then finding a way to make it convenient for you, especially with technology now, like with the Machine Plus. One of the things that I love about it is I will sit there and just build ideas on it. I don't make whole beats on the Machine Plus unless I'm doing a video, but my general use for it, if I'm watching a movie or whatever, or just first thing in the morning, I don't have to load up my computer. That saved me some time. I don't have to load up VSTs. I'm just sitting there. Okay, knocked out one idea, save it. Let's go to the next one. Knocked out one idea, save it. Knocked out the next one, save it. Then later on that night, go to the computer, stretch it out, maybe change some VSTs around, all that stuff, then mix it, and it's done. It's like that. That's a workflow that works. So it's just you have to figure out what works best for you.
Yeah, that works. I'm not gonna get into the whole Machine Plus thing, because people know if they see our video on it, they know how I feel about it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I still got the MK3. That's still my baby.
Oh, that's the one.
that's my pride and joy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, I love it.
I went on a whole rant about the Machine Plus. And so
I think I started the video and I didn't finish it. I got distracted.
Yeah, I started the whole rant, and it's like, you know, it is what it is.
You wasn't the only one. I got a lot of people. Bro. Like a lot of people. I think people think that I work at Native Instruments or something like that. They were sending me stuff like, "Why wouldn't you guys put a battery in it and this, that?" And I'm like, I have no say so in any of the development or nothing like that. I'm just somebody who I review the stuff. I actually use the stuff. So it's like you can't send me your hate mail because I'm like, tell me to focus more on this because this is like. No.
Yes. I was upset they didn't put a battery in it too, but you know, it is what it is. So I had a friend of mine that before the new Machine Plus came out, I was asking, because he's a very well known producer. I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want anything to happen, but super well known producer, produced for a lot of super well known people. And we were talking about the Machine one day, and I was like, look, I wonder if they're gonna come out with something new. He was like, yeah, they are. I was like, what? And he started telling me about it. And I was like, that's gonna be so, and all the stuff he was telling me about, I was like, that's gonna be so dope. It's gonna be portable, it's gonna be blah, 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 it's gonna be this and be that. And I was like, yes. And then it comes out, and it's everything that I wanted, except for the battery. I was like,
and I get that though. I try to tell people, like, I understand 100%. I mean, there's other alternatives, but then I also understand you got to spend money for the alternatives. So I get it.
Yo, cause that price tag, I was like, whoa. And I was like, I can't even take it to the beach. Somebody was like,
right.
Somebody in the comments in the video was like, why would you ever take it to the beach anyway, though? I'm like, you never know. I want to make beats on the beach. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Hawaii.
That's what I love about it. I just want to go somewhere, like just go pull it out the backpack. Don't need nothing else.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get on the Machine Plus thing, because I could, but I'm not. Man, so for you, man, what has been your proudest moment?
Man, you know, somebody asked me this recently, and they thought that it would be like, you know, getting a plaque for trying me and stuff like that. But I really just feel like my proudest moments is the fact that, you know, I wake up every day and I'm just like, wow, like I remember, like, I worked in a factory, so it was like I was working maybe 9.5, 9 hours, something like that every single day. And, you know, we had our days where we had to work on Saturdays and all that stuff. And then they actually did some type of error with my information when I started working there. And they was taking like double money out of my check to fix their error or something like that. So I was really working for nothing
Nah.
at that point. I was just doing it.
Dang.
And it's like just to sit here now and be like, it's like I just do the YouTube stuff when I can or when I feel like it, and I make music, send it out. I sell my beats. It's like when I see the PayPal notifications, my course notifications, it's like I was really able to build something, and I want to be able to help spread that to other people. And you know, like of course you had the moments where it's like you got the plaque or you heard the song on the radio or you know the first big check or you know all that stuff, but I feel like every day is really just like, wow. And that's why I try not to be too hard on myself. At the same time, I'll be sitting here getting frustrated. I'll get mad at myself just for sitting down for 30 minutes. That's my fiance for Shanta. I just saw the comment pop up. Thank you.
But yeah, I'm loving the interview so far, man. Like I said, we just sit back and we just have a good time. But man, so you started talking about your courses. So what was your motivation behind starting and creating these courses, and what can people expect for those who haven't taken the course?
My course will literally walk you through getting the machine. I use the machine MK3, but it's the same as the Plus, except for without the standalone mode and the micro, except for you don't have the screen. It takes you through what each button does, what the software does, and I walk you through how I make a beat and then just why I do it. Like I'm literally like, I push this button because it does this. Like I'm literally explaining it because I started doing one-on-one sessions and they got real time consuming. And it was just like I was answering the same stuff over and over and over, which is cool if that's what you want to do. But for me, I was just getting frustrated because I would get out of 1 hour session and then go to the next, and then it'll be the exact same question. And I'm like, I need to just come up with a way to do it. And I kept getting a way to make it so that way I don't have to keep explaining. That's what I meant to say. So the idea just kept coming to me and coming to me. And I actually shot all of the course. I want to say it took like one night to record everything. And then it took me a couple days to edit it. And then after that, it was done. And I just sat on it because I didn't know what to do with it. Like the videos were like 20 gigabytes. And I'm like, I can't just host this somewhere and let it go and all that stuff. So I just sat on it for probably about 2 months. And then I eventually looked at Teachable, and that seemed like a good option for me because I don't have to maintain anything. It's all done through them. So I was like, I'm gonna throw it on there. And honestly, man, that's been a game changer for me, 100%. Like just having that, like I've literally had hundreds of people. And that's what I'm saying. When I think about my proudest moments, it's the fact that I look on there every now and then. I'm like, I've had hundreds of people take my course and complete it. I had people telling me like, "Oh, I didn't even know how to start with this machine, and now I'm selling beats on BeatStars. Thank you, you know, stuff like that." So it was a game changer. I have some ideas for other upcoming courses that I want to do. I'm gonna flesh those out and then put those up. And yeah, it's a game changer.
It's a game changer. So I'm gonna let out a little secret. Guess how I learned how to use Machine?
Oh, you took my course?
Hey, guess how I learned how to use Machine? Like
I didn't even know that.
I had to. I didn't know anything. So I don't know if you know my whole story about Machine. I talked about it in my my Machine top 5 things about Machine that I like. And I talked about how I had the MK2 twice. I had it twice. So I bought it. Well, actually, I bought it at a where I don't even know where I bought it from, but I bought the first one, and I started using it. I didn't like it, and what I didn't like about it was the workflow. I didn't like anything about the MK2. Nothing. I didn't like the software. I didn't like the way it worked. I didn't like nothing about it. And I was like, you know what? This is not from your boy. So I sold it. I sold it to the pawn shop. Got my little bread. I like it, cool. And then, but because I purchased it, I already had the software. You know what I'm saying? I already had some of the kits that I had with it. And so I was like, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it just in case. So I did. And then I was like, you know, I didn't really give the MK2 its due diligence. I'm gonna buy it again. So I went back. I think I went back to the same pawn shop, to the same pawn shop, and bought it. And was like, all right, cool. Let me try it again. Matter of fact, it was right next to my kids' Taekwondo school, and I was like, cool. I purchased it, and I took it back. Nah, I don't like this. Nope. And I sold it right back to the same pawn shop.
I had a similar situation almost. I bought the Micro from Guitar Center. That was my first machine, and it was like August of 2013. I bought it, plugged it up, and I'm like, coming from FL where I can make a beat like that, I'm like, I ain't feeling this. And I was so tempted to take it back, but something was like, just give it some more time. I had 30 days before, like if I wanted to take it back, I could. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take the next 2 to 3 weeks. All the free time I got is gonna be on this thing, pushing buttons. At that time, I think it was only one person on YouTube that was doing videos on it, but he wasn't even doing tutorials. He was just showing off how to make beats, but I was learning from just watching what he was doing. And I was like, okay, like after that time, I was like, all right, yeah. Like my son at that point, he was like maybe 5, no, I don't know if he was even 5 months at that point. He might have been like 3. When did I get it? 2013. So yeah, he was around 3 months old or so. Okay. And he would be in this little swing, and I'd be sitting there just going at it. And then eventually I think what it was is once they added the chord and scale features and stuff of the control, it changed the game at that point. And it was like, okay, I don't even have to think to make beats no more. I can just sit here and do whatever, and it's gonna be good. And I just stuck with it.
Bro, scales and chords on machine was a game changer. Once that took, I was like, what? Oh. But then, I started seeing other DAWs and, people making scales and chords type things in their DAW. Like, I'm a Reason user. Well, I was a Reason user. Let me go and say.
I tried Reason 2 at one point.
I still got it. I'm going to always keep it, right? I was on Reason 4, but I'm getting ready to switch. Something comes out on February the 23rd that I just, man, wow. Because they took a lot of stuff from FL and put it into their DAW. That Ableton 11.
People have been telling me I need to get on Ableton. I just haven't gotten into it. For some reason, I just haven't been able to make the switch. But
look, all
everybody
is
telling me, they're like, just give it a try. Just give it a try.
Look, all I'm gonna say is, oh man. Ooh,
now for Ableton, would I need to get the hardware for it?
Nah, you don't have to get the push. I mean, the push would be a complement to Ableton, but you don't have to use the push for Ableton. It just makes it a better experience because you have a outboard piece of gear that you can press buttons. Like the machine and do stuff and tweak parameters, actually tweak parameters in a DAW that is linear. That's why I don't like machine. Well, let me take it back. I love machine. I love the machine. I don't like what they do in the software because it's not what I'm used to. And man, it was just real hard for me to get used to that. And so I'll still do drums in it, and I'll just drag them drums right up until Reason.
And they have the what is it, clips mode now, where you can do stuff outside of the arrange scene, and you have to do that. Now you can just put stuff wherever. But I understand, especially like I always say, coming from FL Studio, I can't use FL Studio no more. When I go back to it, it just doesn't work for me for some reason. Like it used to. I tried Logic. I like Logic, but it slowed me down a lot. I used to just pulling up, building up, done.
Yeah. I used to use Logic. When I first started, I started on Ableton, and now I'm going to go back like 10 years later. I'm going back to what I first started on, which is so
I might
crazy.
give it a shot. I might have to go give me a push just to give it a shot, just to see what happens.
But yeah, Ableton,
I get so many people telling me that, like, just try Ableton. I even downloaded, like, when it was, I don't know if they did a free version or something. When the pandemic first started, I had it on my computer and I never opened it for some reason.
Wow.
I just never
did. I got to give it to them. Ableton's the truth. They took FL's piano roll and put it in Ableton. Oh, gosh. When I saw that, I was like, that's a done deal. Because what I don't like about FL, and I know we ain't really talking about DAWs and stuff, but what I don't like about FL is that whole play and song thing you got to click back and forth. and then I don't like the channel where you got to put all your drums and all those different things, and I don't like the sequencer. I try to get used to it. I've seen Simon Servita make some amazing stuff in it, and it's like, yeah, nah, I can't do it. That's just not how it works. But
I'm gonna check out Ableton. I need to take a note of that, so I might have to take a trip to Guitar Center and give me a push just to,
yeah, Ableton's
check it out.
Yeah, what I saw, I was like, oh, and I had no chance of saying I'm gonna go back to Ableton, but your boy may go back to back to live, man. So let's continue the conversation, man. So for you, what are your thoughts on today's modern music production? What are your thoughts on just kind of where we are as a creative group of producers and the direction that we're going in?
I love it. I love that a lot of people are starting to do pretty much just take how much I'm put. They're betting on themselves in different ways. Like you had the people that put stuff on the streaming services. You have people that want to put stuff on BeatStars and just things of that nature. People work together. I know there are people who have their own little issues in the community with each other and all that stuff. But aside from, I mean, you're gonna get that anywhere. So aside from that, I'm happy. I know I have people who tell me on my videos like, man, this stuff is too easy. They're making it too easy for the producers. This isn't right. And I'm just like, I mean, what's the problem with making it easy? Because I feel like they could make it super easy where all you got to do is push one button. But the thing is, people have to actually push that button to make it happen. And the majority of people ain't even going to go through the process of getting the button to push it to make it happen. Like there's the whole thing about AI music. That's the thing that I'm like, that seems crazy. But aside from that, I'm looking forward to the future. Like when you said that about Ableton 11, is it? I think Ableton 11.
Yep.
I was like, okay, the FL Studio piano roll. That's one thing that I miss about FL Studio was the piano roll.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, I might have to try it because then you got the actual hardware too. That's gonna be a journey though for me. I already know trying to learn something from my usual workflow, but I will document it, and then that's a process right there in itself.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying that you got to switch from Machine to Ableton, but I will say this: it has that piano roll in it, and it also has the ability. Look, it also has the ability to do ghost notes too. So I'm just saying.
And then I could probably use Machine inside of Ableton too.
Oh, look. So so you can set up. See, now you got me talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can hook up, and of course you can do this in Logic too. I can't do it in Reason. I haven't found out a way to do it in Reason, and I have not found a way to do it in FL. But you can do a 16 channel type setup in Logic, and you can also do it in Ableton, where you can map each sound in the machine to an audio channel in Ableton, save it as a template, and then every time you load up Machine in Ableton, all your sounds are on individual audio tracks. The beauty of it is that if you decide to switch a group, like a drum thing in Machine, it still maps completely. It doesn't change any of it. So I can continue to just go through like my DJ Khalil. See, that's why I will never leave Machine, because of DJ Khalil and Golden Kingdom and Pure Drip and all those things. Like, I'm just not gonna leave because of those. But I can use all of that in Ableton, and then I could use, and because I'm a Reason user, I can load up Reason as a VST and use all my sounds in Reason, and use the piano roll with the ghost notes and do all my okay, anyway, don't get me started on Ableton on Ableton 11. But man, it's interesting you say you're looking forward to where music production is going, and I've heard a lot of people say that it has become a lot easier, and because it's a lot easier, that has kind of, I don't want to use the word demonetized because that's not the right word, decommoditized music in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about music back in the day, not everybody made music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had producers who were growing up, Ninth Wonder, you know what I'm saying, RZA and Timbaland and Pharrell and all those people too. But now everybody can make beats. Everybody can, go to Guitar Center and buy a Machine or buy FL or buy Logic for $2.99 and make music. So it's quote unquote, it's become easier. And I asked this question in my conversation of music production. Do you think that has kind of given its way to laziness when it comes to music production? That the accessibility of instruments and loop packs and sample packs and all these things, has it produced a certain laziness when it comes to music production?
I think I see both sides of it, to where I can see why some people would say that, because there are some, like I know somebody personally who he makes all his beats just off of the machine loops. Like literally he will get the expansions, he will go through all the loops, drop it in, go like the main, like let's say he finds a piano loop he likes, boom, put it there. Let me go find a pad that I like, loop, bam, put it there. Let me go find the bass, boom, let me find the drums, boom, and that's all he does. That's the workflow that works for him. I kind of look at it like you got to learn to do something a little different. But again, who am I to say that though? At the end of the day, that's what works for you, and if that's what's making it happen, that's what's making it happen. But on the flip side, I think it all goes back to the effort at the end of the day. Like, yeah, it's easier to make beats, but what are you gonna do with them after that? Like, it's more to it than just making it. Like, are you going to put it on streaming services? Are you going to take those steps to actually do it and promote it? Are you going to build your fan base with that? Or are you just going to be making the beats and just leaving them on the computer? Like, yeah, like you're not going to do anything with them. So it's like, it makes it easier to make. But at that point, to me, it was never, the goal wasn't always just make the beats. It's like, okay, well, what am I going to do with it? Which goes to kind of in hand to hand with the YouTube stuff and working with different artists and having ideas of things that you want to do. And like, people can make beats on their own. And then even past that, I feel like it still takes some level of skill to be able to operate all the stuff as well too. Because like with machine, if you don't put the stuff in your scales or all, you're not matching them or making sure that it's locked in properly, you're gonna be messing up. So you got to learn something too. But yeah, for me personally, I can see where the lazy argument comes in, but I feel like that's just going to make you have to work 10 times harder, because I have noticed that it seems like everybody makes beats. When I'm on Instagram, all I see is people make beats, you know? But I feel like that's also somewhat to do with the algorithm, because I feel like whatever it is that you're into, you're going to see a lot more of that. You know, I'll be like, I don't even know this person made beats. I don't even know who this is. Why are they on my timeline? And I think it's just the way the stuff is set up now. You see the stuff that you're into. So I feel like if I was into film, I'll be like, why is everybody making film? And they'll be like, oh, they're these cameras now. I used to have to go pay 20,000 for this, and he only had to pay 1,000. You know, it's like, I feel like that with everything. It's just technology.
It's because look, I'm a camera guy. Like, I am a camera. My son over here, who's my tech support, he could tell you I'm a camera guy. He will come he will come into my studio and I'm watching Peter McKinnon or Maddie, or oh yeah, I watch Peter McKinnon like until the wheels fall off. And because when I was learning how to do this whole thing, I needed to figure out how to master the look and how to master, like I didn't know anything about shutter speed and aperture and ISO. I ain't know none of that stuff in the very beginning. And you know,
Once
honestly,
you learn it, it changed the game.
like yo, it was pretty evident in the beginning of my We Create Music TV career. You can go back and look at my very first videos and you're like, oh. But then, but then you can see, okay, there's a progression. Oh, he's learned. And I think with anybody, that comes through practice, it comes through repetition, but you got to figure out now that I've done this and it's accessible to everybody, because you know what I'm saying, you can buy cameras for $300-400 now and they can shoot 4K and they could do, you know, 30 frames a second, and they're out here. You could take this and do 4K.
That's what I was about to say.
And do 120 frames a second on your iPhone, right? If people don't know what we're talking about, you got to go, you know, look it up. But
that leads to the point though. People
you
still have to do your research to get the value of what you're trying to do. Is not like, oh, I'm about to buy this camera and it's gonna be the perfect thing right out the box. It's like, no, yeah. Hours and trial and error testing, and even down to your sound and everything, is levels to it. Like, yes, the entry is low, but to get past that, you're still gonna have to do a lot of work.
And I think that's sometimes what people miss, is I think a lot of people are in such a hurry to try to quote unquote make it, it's like, hey, I've been producing for 2-3 months. You know, why nothing happening for me? Like I put my stuff on BeatStars. Why ain't nobody checking out my beats? I haven't gotten anything yet. And it takes a lot of work. A lot of work.
I could tell you that firsthand. Like I was selling beats online like before Try Me. I think I went like a year and a half before I even sold one beat. And then I went like another year before somebody bought something after that. But I was able to sell stuff in person, which was able to work out better. But I get those messages all the time. Like somebody like, man, I'm just ready to give up. I've been making beats. I started making beats in like July and now nothing's working for me. So I think it's just not for me. And I'm like, man, listen, I'm 28 years old. I started making beats when I was 14. That's 14 years of just making beats. Like none of the stuff comes and it has its ups and downs too. Like I'm fortunate enough, like I say, I'm blessed to be in the position of where my BeatStars, for whatever reason, it gets me to where I can just sit back and see those random things. Boom, boom, boom. And BeatStars Marketplace, that also comes from the grind that I put in on YouTube to build up my audience. Because one of my top selling beats of 2020, I sold the beat so many times. It's crazy. It's a beat that I put on YouTube in 2018. So it's like, and people are scared to even take that first step of putting their stuff out there, which is a whole nother conversation. But yeah, man, people just got to stick with it or find something that they enjoy doing. So when nothing's going for them, they still could push themselves through it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Man, so I want to switch gears for a moment. And I do want to talk about your YouTube channel. You know, what was your motivation kind of behind creating your YouTube channel? And what led to that explosive growth for you?
Initially, for me, it was I had a camera. Well, past that, I used to have a graphic design business. I used to do stuff like that. So I made a YouTube channel just to put up my graphic design work as a portfolio to send out when I was trying to get like a graphic design job somewhere right out of high school or while I was in college. Like, let me send this, let me send that. Then it transitioned to when I got a little camera. I just drove around the city and I put my camera on like my dashboard where it was facing me. I don't know why I did that, and flip it back around. I'll put a beat in the background and then I uploaded those videos. And then it kind of transitioned into me wanting to upload beats to try and build traction. So I did something called the 365 project, upload a beat every day of the year. That started gaining me traction real quick. And it was before all the type beat stuff and all that. Like it was still type beat, but it was before it was popular. So that started getting me my first, 2,000 subscribers and stuff like that, getting views. And then when I started actually making videos of myself making beats, it was more so I wanted to have something documenting what I did. And for like my son, his kids, it's gonna be there forever. It was just like, man, I could make a video of me making beats, put it up here. It's gonna be here. People can sit there and watch it. And from there, I say, try me. I uploaded that video on my channel, and it just shot me up to, I want to say, like, I think I went up to 10K subscribers. Then the video got pulled down for some reason. Somebody said that it was their song, and when that happens, YouTube just pulls the stuff down. Like I remember I got my first $100 from YouTube, and it was at the time where I was laid off. And I think the thing I love to do is go to the movies. I was at the movies debating on if I wanted to spend money on popcorn, and my phone just buzzed like, you just got $150 from Google. And I was like, huh? And I looked at it and it said YouTube. I was like, oh, yeah, let me go ahead and get that large
popcorn.
Yeah, let me get that. And then from there, it just, when Try Me happened, it went from me getting like $150 every 2 months or something like that. That first month of me having that up there, that thing shot up to where I got like $900 and some dollars. And then it went to the 1,000 range, and that's where it got pulled down. And then during that point in time, I'm like, I'm cool with that, if I'm not tripping on it. And then from that, it kind of stalled because I wasn't really doing anything more on YouTube at that point, because I was really being told I shouldn't do YouTube. But it was something I still wanted to do. And then I started just doing beat making videos with the machine, and that's what helped it start stacking up. And then from there, once Native Instruments recognized me and started giving me everything up front and being like, hey, we're going to be putting this out. Can you do a video on it? Are you interested in doing a video on it? Like, yeah, like I want to work with y'all. Send me whatever
like
it is. Whatever it is.
Like, nah, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I don't.
Right.
Nah. Right.
But once that MK3 came out, and I had the MK3, I want to say maybe a month before it came out, and I was allowed to do videos on it. That's what really shot me up more. It's been consistent growth over time now at this point.
Yeah, that's what's up, brother. That's what's up. And I don't think people really realize that you can build a successful career off of YouTube. Like if you're consistent, yeah, it's like, well, if you're consistent and you're diligent and you're uploading videos. Now, I think I heard, well, I didn't really hear it, but I think I saw that you started off posting a video here and there, right? And then it went to posting a video once a week, and now now you find yourself posting twice a week.
Yeah.
So how many videos do you post a week now?
Now I don't hold myself to that like I used to. Like prior to the pandemic, I was like trying to do something every single day, like whether it's just me sitting there making a beat. But eventually I got to a point where I'm like, my audience may be tired of me just sitting here like posting me making a beat, like, okay, machine make a beat, and it just became something where even down to trying to find the time to shoot it now, it kind of slowed up. And then life happens and things of that nature, so now it's kind of, if I try to get something out there maybe twice a week like you mentioned, and if I don't film something, I'll just be like, I'll hop on live for a minute just to see what happens. But I have actual plans, like I want to start doing stuff on my channel of me just talking, and more than just the beat stuff. Like I want to talk about life. Like, guys that subscribe to me, come here, y'all hop in the chat, we can talk, figure out whatever you want to know about this, about machine, we can do that. Something else, like I'm passionate about finances, and a lot of my one-on-one sessions end up becoming conversations about finances for some reason, and we'll be going on and on and on. Like one guy, he'll be like, yeah, I want to talk about machine, but question for you, what do you think about the stock market and this and that? We be going on that, and it grows. And it's like, I want to do that on my channel. I made a separate channel for that stuff, but I hadn't really pushed it much. But then I was like I made a separate channel for my beats, and then it started to grow. But at the same time, I kind of feel like I should just do it all on one platform. I just have to find a way to make it work with everybody. I don't want everybody to feel like, I'm here for the beats, why is he talking about finances? Or I'm here for the beats, why he has a podcast? Stuff like that.
Yeah. Hey, you may have to find a way to kind of intertwine, all those into one another. But I have heard people making separate channels for some of those different things. Like I got a channel for, music. I got a channel for finance. I got a channel for just everyday type of stuff. And a lot of times those bring in different audiences.
That growth from zero though, sometimes be like, man.
Yeah, but here's what I found out is that when they're on their main channel, they say, hey, if you're interested in, hearing me talk about finances, jump over to, here's the link. You know how they do. They were like, here's a link right here. Click that and it'll take you to my other channel. Go ahead and subscribe, tune in, right? So I think for somebody kind of like yourself who already has amassed a certain amount of followers that are interested in that type of stuff too, would be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think maybe for somebody like me who's trying to grow their, their platform, and hey, matter of fact, if you watch it, make sure you subscribe because I need them. I need them subscribers.
Be sure to subscribe.
I need them subscribers. But no, but seriously, like if you like what we do, what we offer, definitely please subscribe. But you have to kind of figure out how that plays in for you and your audience, because I know, like when I watch certain types of videos, I'm also interested in other things too. So if there's this guy that I watch named Sean Cannell, right? He does videos and stuff too. But he was like, hey, I have another channel that focuses specifically on how to make money as a videographer. We don't really talk about that here, but I'll be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go check it out and I'm gonna go subscribe to that part of his channel too. But yeah, I think being on YouTube is a great platform to grow anybody's business, anyone's platform from what they're really trying to do. And especially for someone like you who do tutorials, who has courses that you offer, beat making and videos, of course, which I've watched a gazillion. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, I watched a gazillion of those videos. Like, yo, wait a minute, how you do this in Machine? Like, I don't know. DDS. Like, he know.
Right.
Like, I already know he know. Like, that's how I figured out how to actually arrange a song in Machine. I was so frustrated with it. And I was like, who has a template or some video that shows you, here's how you structure a song in Machine. Structure song in Machine. DDS came out. I was like, oh yeah, DDS, no click.
That's
Boom.
the number one. That's the number one thing about is
Yes.
arranging. Number
Because
one.
that's because can't nobody figure it out. They made it too cumbersome. Can't nobody figure it out. But man, we've been talking for a while, brother. I greatly appreciate you being here, man. Is there any piece of advice that you could kind of tell up and coming music producers that would kind of give them that good advice?
That because that work on.
I went back live again. Hey, I don't know if y'all can hear me, but we had a technical glitch. So, wow. But that technical glitch was crazy. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. DDS already hung up. And so let me see if I can get him back on if we still can. But yeah, it was a weird technical glitch that happened, and it kind of just froze. It just kind of froze everything, which was so crazy. Never had that happen before. I'm gonna have to reach out to the company that owned the software that I use and figure out what. All right.
Oh, man, I'm sorry, I got it running over here.
Man, I don't know what happened, but it went into a technical glitch and it completely froze everything. I'm like, no, no. But yeah, it froze everything. But man, if people are still watching, let's go ahead and wrap it up. So the question I was asking, and I appreciate those people who are still in attendance, and I appreciate your patience even through the technical glitch.
Oh yeah,
is,
no problem.
Like, what advice would you give somebody who's trying to get into this whole music production thing to help take them to the next level?
I would say believe in yourself. Know that you're going to have people say negative stuff to you, but don't take that stuff personal. That's the main thing. And even if you don't deal with the negative stuff, like if you have people reaching, or if you're reaching out to people and you're sending them stuff and you don't hear back, don't take it personal. I've had my moments with that stuff where it's like, dang, I done sent this, and you ain't responding. And then you say, send you some more stuff and this, that, and the other. But it's like, it's all like, that's earlier. That's like long gone. Like now I'm like, I don't take any of that stuff personal. Everybody had their own stuff going on, and just believe and keep pushing. Like really, like even if you think that your beats aren't the best right now, you can get them to where you want them to be. You just got to keep on working, and regardless of what you do, just keep on working, honestly, because that's the way something gonna happen. Like I said, it's crazy. Like I said in an interview, I was making beats for 14 years. Like I didn't even realize that till I mentioned it then. Like I knew it's been over 10, but like 14 years. That's probably going on 15. So it's crazy.
Yeah, some people.
And I'm not even where I want to be yet with all this stuff.
Some people don't realize it's a long game. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be patient through this whole thing. Even if you do know people who have connections within the industry, may not necessarily be your time at that moment. But people do have to realize it's a long game. I need to stay consistent with it. Man, so what's next for you?
What's next for me is I want to make some more. How can I put it? The placement thing, I kind of want to get some more placements, but it's really it's not like I'm chasing those that way. I want to have like some more placements. Like, I work with DeJ Loaf, a few people like that, get some more stuff like that, build some more courses, more content. One of my things is I want to make more meaningful content, stuff that have an impact on people outside of just the, like you taught me how to do this or do that. Like I like the stuff where people say, man, you really motivated me to start my own thing, and now I'm successful at it. Like I had somebody reach out to me and say, "Oh, I made $10,000 this month off BeatStars, and it wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't have told me to start put my beats out there and stuff like that." So I want to just get into that mindset of motivating other people and just helping other people grow to become whatever it is that they want to be, if I can assist them and just build. And I have a few things, like I said, I want to get my podcast back up and running and stuff like that, and
Do it.
things of that nature.
Yeah, do it, bro. That one time when you went live, it was great.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed it though. It was crazy. I want to find a way where I can incorporate a guest and stuff, maybe take a phone line or something like that and do it like that. But got things like that I want to do, and then that's true too.
Yeah.
And it's like, this year I'm getting married in 2 months and stuff like that. So, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So, just leveling up in life as a whole, really, that's the goal for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, so now I can say it's been a pleasure having you on the show, brother. I greatly appreciate you being here and just sharing your knowledge. Appreciate you, man. Of course, I'll be tuning into whatever you do and supporting you in every way that I can for what you do. I appreciate what you're doing for the producer community, the machine community, for us who are still, kind of struggling.
Yeah, I got the machine, guys. Even if I do get able to, I'm not going nowhere. Still gonna have machine.
I'm still have machine. Like the machine, the machine will never go anywhere, and I'm never upgrading. So.
They might make one with a battery, we'll have to see. Somebody, listen, them people in the comments will tell me stuff that I have never heard. They said the next machine is supposed to come out this year, and then they'll be like, watch, it's going to be the Machine Studio 0.3, and it's going to have a 36-hour battery. I'm like, where do you even get this stuff from? They said it's going to have you have a machine, you're going to have the complete control all built into one device. I'm like, yeah, I don't know nothing about that. Okay,
and look, if they do, you better be ready to shell out $3,000.
Right,
plus.
That's gonna be crazy.
Crazy. Like they're gonna have a machine MK3 Junior, and then the machine Plus, and then the machine Grand. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But man, pleasure. I appreciate you being here, brother. And anytime you need anything, man, just let me know. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in. Greatly appreciate you all being in tune with us and working with us through our little technical glitch that we had. But once again, thank you for being here on We Create Music TV. Of course, you can find all of our live interviews taking place every Monday and every Thursday at 7 p.m. And of course, we got a slew of content on our YouTube channel. We just dropped a networking in the music industry. I mean, I know we're in COVID, but the same things that I talk about in that video, you can do online. So make sure you check it out. Once again, greatly appreciate you being here, and I will see you again in another video. Peace. Thank you.